Hey guys, it's Sean Zinn, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. This is live number 96 on the year. Again, I'm doing lots of lives because I want to provide value for you to allow you to grow, to personally develop, to help you take you and your business to the next level. And the guests that I have on are going to drop some massive value, give you authenticity, give you tips and tricks and strategies that you can implement. And we're looking for action takers and those that want to take action, take some of the information that we give and actually use it. Let me bring on my guests. I have with me today Mike Zerenner. What's going on,
What's going
Mike?
on, guys? How's it going, man?
We got Anthony Rosa,
What's up, everybody? Good morning.
and we have Eric Penicky. How's it going, guys?
What's going on? What's going on? Thanks for having us.
Now, this is going to be fantastic. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking some time out. Even Anthony's in transit, and we're making things happen. That's what it's all about, just dropping value. That's what the goal is every single time we do these things, to help people, to make people get better. So let's do a little round robin here and just do a little introduction of who you are, so those that don't know who you are can get to know you, and that we can, we'll start off with Mike Zerenner, then we'll do Anthony, then Eric, and then we'll get into it. So Mike, go ahead, my man.
All right, guys. If you don't know who I am, I'm Mike Zerenner. I'm in the dumpster business, all aspects of waste hauling throughout New Jersey, New York City, and South Florida, and Philadelphia. We do dumpster rentals for residential, commercial, industrial, cleanouts, and slowly moving into other fields right now as well. Portable toilet service and a whole bunch of stuff. But we'll get into that in a little bit with Sean and everyone else.
It's awesome, Mike. Thanks for being here, brother. Anthony.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Mike. Good morning, Eric. Sean, thanks for having me on. I'm a financial coach, aka Mr. Remedy, and I, specialize really in helping someone understand how to have a healthy financial strategy. Unfortunately, in this country, credit is really everything. And, if you know how to manage and let your bills build your credit, I try to teach you how to just, have a healthier, happy lifestyle. Doing this for a few years now, going on over 5. And, I'm really excited to, get together and get on these shows with you, Sean. And, I'm looking forward to some of the content that we're going to be sharing today. So if you guys are watching and you don't have a piece of paper and pen, I highly recommend take some notes, because I know these guys are going to be coming with some really cool stuff.
Awesome, Anthony. Thanks for joining us, brother. Eric.
Guys, what's up? Thanks for having me. For those that don't know me, I don't have a cool nickname like Mr. Remedy. I need something like that. But I'm in the real estate space, been in the business for 5 years, investing, wholesaling. We have a hard money lending business. Basically, really what we're good at, we started November 1st, will be 2 years in business. We've grown from myself and my business partner and $5,000 to what we have now, which is office in Newark, rental portfolio that's growing every day, closing about 15 transactions a month on the wholesale side. And really what we're good at is generating leads. So I'm excited to give some value there. We generate about 300 leads a month on motivated sellers, and starting to apply that to different industries such as solar. We can talk about that later, but it's a pleasure, and thanks for having me.
No, it's going to be awesome, guys. And I appreciate everyone tuning in today. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. If you are watching us, we love to live, #live. Where are you watching us from, so we can kind of connect and see where our reach is going. If you guys have a business, drop your website in the comments. So let's all collaborate. Let's all network while we're taking some time out of our Saturday and listening and learning and engaging each other. So again, we're going to talk about a couple topics today. We're going to go into networking online. We're going to go into lead generation, and then non-negotiables. And these are all things that everyone that's in sales, anyone that's in business should be utilizing. And that networking face-to-face time has been kind of put to the wayside at the moment, but there's other ways of doing it. So Anthony, let's start with Anthony. Can you discuss some of the things that you're doing online to network and take your business to the next level?
Yeah, sure. I mean, online is such a easy, platform where, we could really control our output, whereas it's, it takes kind of the limitations away from having people in your actual network, you know. Some of the things that I'm doing now is just really being, I guess, ultra alert on certain, groups that I'm in, conversations that I'm involved in. Um, I try to make sure that I found, businesses that are relevant to what I do, so real estate being one of them, loan officers. So I find who complements my business, who are those partners that we can exchange referrals, and what groups are around. So that's what's been very effective for me, where I'm able to communicate and get involved in conversations for those that are trying to buy a house or looking to fix their credit.
No, that's awesome. And it's so important to be online. It's funny, some people you talk to, they're like, oh, I'm not on Instagram, I'm not on Facebook or LinkedIn or Web Talk or what have you. It's like, why? Why are you not on there? There's so much opportunity. Eric, would love to hear what you're doing as far as online networking.
Yeah, I'm a lot more active actually on Instagram. But a lot of what I do is kind of showcasing what I do day to day. Pretty recently, I realized that people love to see someone that's out there, working hard, getting it, doing whatever you're doing. Stuff that seems mundane to you might be interesting for somebody else, might provide some motivation. In the real estate space, you guys probably know there's a lot of people that kind of talk a big game, but at the end of the day aren't actually doing anything. So if you can show that you're out there, you're doing deals, you're closing deals, you're working on projects, it'll bring in investors, which is always good for us. We want to have more investors, more clientele, but also it'll bring you opportunity. People will see, okay, this guy does this guy does that, and all of a sudden your DMs will, you'll have new investors, you'll have new opportunities. And that's something that I started doing really recently, which was just kind of showing what we're doing day to day. Stuff that I didn't think was really cool, but people love to see. And I think just being authentic and really showing that, the process. I kind of wish I showed more of the process when we were getting started so we could go back. But, something I'm trying to do is put out content every single day.
No, that's awesome. And I like how you said that you wish you were able to start it, earlier. But guess what? You started now, and then you just keep crushing it forward. It doesn't matter. Yes, we all learn from what we did in our past. And yes, maybe I wish I started earlier. I say the same thing. I'm like, damn, what I've done in the last 3 years, if I started 5 years, 10 years earlier, where would I be now? But I'm just looking forward to the future. And that's what I just keep my head in what I'm doing and just keep crushing and going forward. Awesome. Mike, how would you talk about what you're doing on networking online?
Well, first, I was never really a big fan of networking, social media. I was very old school and I went out face to face with people. I banged on doors, visiting job sites, stuff like that, handing out cards. I was raised from an old school company, so that's how we always did everything. And when I first started with the dumpsters, social media wasn't really a big thing at that time. And I've been doing dumpsters 17 years, and I'm only 35. So I started young from high school. I turned and tried to do the networking social media thing from Facebook, and it did open up a lot of doors. I mean, even since I met you, Sean, and you helped me significantly along the way, with other contacts, and you're a vital tool. Not the joke, but you're a vital tool to a lot of people out there. I mean, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have some of my contacts that I have now. Some good, some bad.
Right.
Long story short. But networking is really key. I mean, between social media, Facebook, LinkedIn. I don't have Instagram. I didn't follow that trend. LinkedIn is really good. I kind of see it as like a hit and miss type thing sometimes because I don't really think people pay attention to LinkedIn that much. Just to have it. But Facebook is always good. There's a lot of lead generating websites for construction, and that's where I get a lot of my leads from. They give you all the contact information for contractors, developers, jobs that are going on. I read the paper, I listen to what everybody else is doing, and you really got to keep an ear open. And it's like chess, you got to watch what the other person's doing and see how they're going about things and see, well, how can I capitalize on this and go a step further now? And because of that, I mean, 17 years doing sales work, and I got offered recently a lot of opportunities. And like you said, I couldn't say if I started 5 years ago, but if I would have had other opportunities 5 years ago, things could have been different. But I think stuff is finally starting to come to a head now, and it's better late than never, because now this is an opportunity that I can't miss or lose out on, you know what I mean? And with dumpsters, I kind of have an edge because there's always going to be garbage. I mean, no matter what it is. And realtors, investors, developers, office buildings, marinas, farmland, everything has garbage and everything deals with dumpsters. So, it's an open game for me. Like, no matter what it is, I can have an inch in getting in somewhere. Because unlike real estate, you have high points, low points, slow seasons. We have slow seasons too. But the biggest issue for us is when people are locked into a contract, and which I do, but I don't do at the same time because I'm more about coming up with solutions for people and making long-term relationships, not just making a quick dollar.
The relationships are key, man. You have to have relationships, and networking either face-to-face or online is so key today. And you guys all said some common things. Being authentic, showing the process is so important. And that's what I tell people all the time. People want to know if you have kids, that people want to know if you're married, if you're going on vacation. It's not showing off. You're actually, and I'm working out now, and I do a lot of pictures, and that's actually holding myself accountable. But I'm also inspiring and motivating others. That's why I do it. It's not just show off. It's just to show you the process and what, if you put some time in, it's going to happen. So networking, you should be online. You should have your video calls. Stop having phone calls. Have video calls. Have StreamYard calls. Have Zoom calls. So you can actually have personality. You can actually see people and his mannerisms. And when they're talking, you understand them, and we get to know each other. Like Eric didn't know Anthony before this call. Eric, I don't know if you know Mike that well, but now the four of us are building more of a bond because we're today throwing some value. We're hearing each other. We're connecting on an emotional level. So that's how important that is. So I appreciate those awesome comments as far as networking. Israel's been engaging. Always be ready to fill the need. Totally agree, Mike. It's the relationship that matter most. And he also was talking about with Eric. He dropped the documented journey, Eric, is so important so people see the process. So that's awesome. I want to move into lead generation and how important it is to either do organic or paid or whatever way you're doing. I've developed my business through video and social media over the last 3 years without using any money at all as far as online advertising. And there's things that you can do, but I want to hear about what others are doing. And let's start off with Eric this time with lead generation. What are you doing as far as in this topic?
Well, I wish I could say I wasn't spending any money, but that's definitely not the case. We spend a ton of money on marketing. So I kind of briefly mentioned we generate about 300 motivated seller leads a week. And that feeds our sales team. We have 4 acquisition guys and then 3 more inside sales guys. We have the sales scoreboard is actually right behind me. So basically what we do, it all starts with data. We gather data, property owners in the area. We have a call center in the Philippines, which we built vertically integrated. It's we have a manager over there. I have an office space over there. We bought computers, desks, internet, all that stuff. Which was really hard to do to get set up, but it gave us autonomy over everything. So we generate a ton of leads from the call center, and then we do a lot of text messaging. We do some pay-per-click ads. And one thing I'll say that recently we put an emphasis on, which has really changed the game. We started focusing on our reputation online. So if you look up my company, Leverage Companies, we have 65-star Google reviews. So the first thing people do right now is they look you up, right? Who's this guy calling me? Who's this company? Are they legit? And that's increased our conversion drastically. We have some other tools that we use. One's called Chili Piper, which sends out automatic reminders, text reminders, and email reminders when you have an appointment. And that's increased our conversion ratio about 40% on appointments. So we were dropping tons of appointments every single day. And as you can imagine, that's just literally money out the door. Even if we can't convert it as a property that we're going to buy, we give those leads to a broker in our area, and we're able to monetize those. So we want to convert those appointments. It's super important. And those are two things that we've done recently that's really worked well. As far as like the online marketing space, I don't have too much insight. I'm really more of a gather data, dump that data into a system, generate leads, bring it into our call center. But I mean, for us, it all starts with the data. Data is super important, and then it's just funneling that in.
And you said Chili Piper. That's something that people should check out. That helps with, I guess, continue follow up.
Yeah, so it's an appointment scheduling tool. You can send people a link. It's similar to Calendly, you might have seen.
Yes.
So you can send, if you're getting a lot of appointments and you're noticing they're dropping off, it'll send a text reminder. It'll send an email reminder to these people. You can set it up however you want. If you want 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before, an hour before, it'll do all that for you. And it integrates with our CRM. So it works really well.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Eric. Mike, let's talk about how you're lead generating.
Mostly a lot of lead generating websites that pertain to contracting and municipal bids, and that's usually how municipal bids go out, through lead generating. And I subscribe to one that's actually they give you an option, which is statewide or nationwide. So what I've come to do is, since I was brought up in a mom and pop company, I'm not big on corporate waste companies, because for me, you're just a number to them. You know, it's not personal. Like, all right, Sean needs a dumpster. It's not Sean and Mike. It's customer number, whatever you are. Which also separates me from the other companies, because I answer my cell phone 10:30 at night. You call any garbage company after 5 o'clock, sorry, next day. And a lot of people know that. And it's a good concept, the lead generating websites, because it gives you information that not a lot of people have access to. Contact information, email, company address, scope of work, start date, end date, duration of the job. And that's what I do. I mean, besides my regular 9 to 5, I mean, I'm up till 1:32 in the morning looking at everybody else's moves and doing lead bids and proposals. And, you know, I'm up at 6:30 every morning. So I put the work in to make sure, you know, I know what I have stocked up and ready to go. And those generations, every day it refreshes. So new updated stuff comes out. Lead generating, you know, word of mouth is pretty much my biggest lead generating. You know, people know what I do, and if not, they know somebody that knows what I do. And that's honestly the best way to go about it. I mean, you can always pay money for lead generating. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. You know, a lot of time it's just, you know, just shooting in the wind and see what happens, you know, because a lot of people have previous relationships with other vendors, and which I respect. That's fine. Nobody has to use me at all, but I always give them the option. I always put my name out there. The more they see my name, the more they know what I do, and the more they'll remember.
I gotta say, Mike, I don't know if this is out of sequence, but I don't really know you that well. I just know you're the dumpster guy on Facebook, and you've done an awesome job with that. So, you know,
thank you.
Hats off to you. Hats off to you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I actually, like I said, I got to thank Sean Happ about that. So.
No, it's so true. Like if you see posts and this dumpster, this man is always tagged, and that's all about the word of mouth. It's all about doing what you say you're gonna do, and that's a huge thing. Mike's old school, if you want to say. He's not going to use the data-driven stuff that you're doing, Eric, but it's something that's still working for Mike. So there's a lot of different opportunities out there. I would love to hear from Anthony. What are you doing for lead generation, my man? I appreciate you taking, and be careful on that damn car, man. I don't want to keep your eyes on that road.
No, I'm good. I'm parking right now, but you know, so I've tried you know, some paid advertisements through social media, and you know, obviously, like you always coach, you know, Sean, about engaging, and you know, so the conversion or the money spent obviously was a good investment, but I didn't feel that I really needed to pay for advertisements. When similar to the old school, like Mike, for so many years I've been involved in different community events, setting up networking teams, and so I kind of got my name out there to a point where I'm affiliated with so many different loan officers and so many different real estate offices that my phone doesn't stop. And similar to Mike, you know, I'm from 8 in the morning to 11, 12 at night on calls because thankfully over the years I've been able to create a presence, from coast to coast. So now I'm touching different markets, more so from the word of mouth. Now, when I got into some of these different markets, what I found was I started posting paid advertisements in some of those cities where some of my clients were coming from, like in Texas, Sacramento, California. And so what I found was if you put a paid advertisement, let's say, for example, on Facebook, I can choose what cities I want to put into that post. And then I can kind of manipulate in the area what I'm targeting, how many Facebook users are there. And then I'll go a step further and I'll see who's doing what I'm doing in that area and I engage, you know. If there's another credit specialist that has 700 posts on a paid advertisement and you see that there's 700 different people that wanted information, but you also see no reply, well, I'm going to send them a message and say, hey, my name is Anthony. I'm a finance coach. I saw that you posted that you needed credit repair or you wanted to work on your credit. Did you take care of that yet? I'm not going to use any deceptive tactics and say, oh, go with me. Mine is this and mine is that, and kind of talk bad about anybody, but I'm going to engage in a conversation, so from what I was, I started paying for advertisements. I didn't see too much of a conversion. I started picking up more with the word of mouth, and then where the word of mouth and where my seeds were, that's when I started to re-engage on paid advertisements to start picking up, and so I could drop on those feeds. If I engage with those people that are in other cities and I start targeting advertisements, they already see that I'm engaging with them. Then when I put those advertisements, it's kind of like, oh, I've already known him. So now I'm just starting to work on different cities using different paid leads. But I feel that it wasn't worth the investment, where I was just keeping too busy. Now, like Eric, he's going to a point where he wanted to grow, and you hear that he has his team. That's what I'm trying to do. So I found that to a point where you're doing it from like a single man operation, and now you're starting to get a call center, and now you're saying to yourself, well, wow, look at the output that I did myself. If I have 5 to 7 other myself that I can delegate, then you can get to a point where Eric, and you can, afford to reinvest and see that, oh, wow, once I took it away from me and more it became more fruitful. So Eric, I don't know if you want to add to that, but your business cycle evolved to a point where, if you didn't do some of these things, you wouldn't maybe sustain the same growth. Whereas if you weren't doing those things, you would have still grew, but maybe not at the pace.
Yeah, man. Honestly, one thing I would say here, being at the stage that you're at, we got really good, myself and my partner, we got really good at what we did. And it almost, it became second nature, right? You just do things, things, right? But we didn't document a lot of that. So when we started hiring people, it wasn't like, we almost expected them to already know what we knew. And instead of saying like, this is what works, this is what doesn't work, this works, this doesn't work, this is the process, we should have documented those things early on, right? Like, I'm sure there's things that you do day to day that you just do by instinct now. But when you go to train somebody, having something written down or a process or, you know, your keys to success or whatever that is, right, will be super helpful for you going forward, because we hired a lot of people, and then, you know, the training process took 6 months when it could have probably just taken 3, right? And, you know, looking back now, that's definitely something I would have done.
I definitely want to piggyback off of that, and you should use video, and that's how your training could be set up for the future. You set up whatever you're doing now, put it into systems, video it, so you have a catalog, and now when people come onto your team, here, I want you to watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos. You'll know exactly where you're at, and you don't have to do anything. You do it once, you kind of set it, and then you forget it. That's a kind of the mentality you can set up for the future for sure on lead gen. And the next topic I want to start with Mike to round this out. I want you each to give us one non-negotiable that you have in your day that you would like to share with us. And we'll go around with Mike, then Anthony, and round out with Eric. Go ahead, Mike.
Non-negotiable. In the garbage business?
In business.
You know, it doesn't even pertain to anything monetary or anything like that, non-negotiable. It's more of, you know, loyalty for me is non-negotiable. It's, you know, if I go out of my way to bend over backwards for you and I come up with a plan, it's not just call and order a dumpster and that's it. I work with you to find out a plan for your job. What's the best route and the most cost effective for you? You know, I love that term, investor friendly, but you know, I'm more vendor considerate than investor friendly. But the point is, you know, it's non-negotiable when, you know, you use my service. And I was told a long time ago, if Waste Management can't have everything, you can't have everything, because they're the biggest in the world. And, you know, that stuck with me for the last 15 years, because when I go in somewhere and I don't get an account, I don't get flustered about it. You know, I don't get it. Boom, I'll go get the next one then. But non-negotiable is, you know, if you do things the wrong way by me once, then it's my fault. You know, I mean, however the saying goes. But the point is, you know, if I go out of my way for you and, you know, you're not going to stay loyal to me or whatever it is, that's fine. But I'm just going to remember that in the back of my head. Now, next time, I'm not going to be as convenient to you or make myself accessible to you as I was. Because now it's just business. It's not personal. It's not personal. It's just business. You know, and something non-negotiable for me is, you know, just the underhanded tactics, like Anthony was saying before. You know, you don't go doing deceitful things, and, you know, because it's not worth it, because it's going to come back to you. You know, the clock always goes back to 12 o'clock. And no matter what you do, you know, you want to be humble with everything, and you want to set a standard for yourself. So for my non-negotiable is, one, you know, the whole relationship thing. Don't do wrong by me, or, you know, just shady stuff. But for me, I'm always non-negotiable with myself that I'm never satisfied. I will never negotiate that I'm satisfied with what I'm doing. I always want more. And when it comes to sales work, I'm a workhorse, and work ethic, nobody will outwork me. You know, no matter what time of the day, you know, they call me, you know, 24/7, but I'm more 25/8, because I always put that extra hour in the extra day in for me. So that's pretty much my non-negotiable is I'm never satisfied. So I never negotiate with me about if I'm satisfied with anything.
Fantastic. Anthony, what's your non-negotiable? Oh, he's in the middle. So, Eric, we'll come back to you, Eric, what is your non-negotiable?
You know, I was thinking about this while Mike was talking. I mean, it's really cliche, but it's do the right thing. I mean, the business I'm in it's unfortunately kind of a scumbag business. I mean, the wholesale real estate investor business is, you know, there's a lot of ways you could get screw people over.
You haven't been in the dumpster business yet.
Oh man, I can only imagine. I was laughing at what you said, investor friendly, right? Which means we don't want to pay you any money. But yeah, so, you know, you'll be hard pressed to find another company that does what we do that has, you know, 65-star Google reviews. The way we were able to do that is just doing the right thing. I mean, it costs us money here and there, but in the long term, I think that it definitely, you know, I don't know how to say it. The reputation is everything in this business. And if you're gonna scumbag people, you might make a quick dollar, but you know, at the end of the day, it's really gonna hurt your business. And we built a company around doing the right thing, and it hasn't always been the smartest financial decision in the short run, but in the long run, I think it's paid off.
It's awesome, man.
Just to chime in on that, Eric, I always say, you know, my name means more than any dollar I'll ever make.
Right.
And when your name is associated with something and people trust you with what they do, and you know they come to you for advice and everything, and you know for what they want, that means more than whatever you're making, because you know whether it's investor friendly and these dumpster guys that are out here trying to make a quick dollar, or trying to be owners of a company, right. Seasonal. The point is, your name, you represent yourself. That's your mold that you're representing. So that means more than all that stuff, and without the customers, there's no you.
Right.
My customers to me are like my second family, because I talk to them more than my own family sometimes.
Mm-hmm. So
customer service is a big thing for me. But like I said, I agree with you on that, though.
100%. And
appreciate that.
Yes. Awesome. What is your non-negotiable?
For me, I think having a giver's gain mentality. I think that doing random check-ins, just trying to see how some of my friends and partners are doing. Sometimes they'll say, "Hey, I'm drowning. I need this," and I'll make it top of mind. Say, "Listen, I'm gonna go find you that," and I guess that's where that kind of remedy comes from, or a tit for tat. If someone text message me with a referral, I don't think about the monetary gain or, for what I do. If I'm referring them back to that person, I don't think about what they're going to make from it. I just think about, wow, this person was keeping me top of mind. They trust me with their referral. I need to get them one, So I'm aggressive with referrals. I would drive around and I'll see a house for rent and I'll call them and I'll say, "Hey, I'm not a realtor, but I work with realtors. This is what I could provide. And, would you want an introduction?" And so, I try to, feed them as much as they feed me. So having a giver's gain mentality, and knowing that word is bond. And, I try to stand by that. If you look me out, I'm going to look you out. And I'm going to reach out before maybe you don't reach out, right? You don't know what someone's really going through if you haven't heard from them in a while. Sometimes it's just a quick check-in, you'll be amazed. I'm amazed when I'll just do a quick random check-in and say, "I was just thinking about you." And they'll be like, "Wow, I was just thinking about you too. I was just talking about this person and I need you to help them." And I was like, "Well, I wasn't calling for a referral. I was just calling to just check in with you." And, those are just organic referrals that come in, that's been keeping me going. So I think that my non-negotiable will be having a giver's gain mentality.
It's awesome. Definitely agree with all of you. The value that was in this live is phenomenal. So if those that are watching, catching on now, you might want to wait till this ends and replay it and take some notes. Anthony, then we'll go Eric, and then Mike. How are they going to contact with you?
Sure. Look, feel free. You can engage with me just by putting a comment in this video. Send me a message through the video. You could visit my website, freshstartadvancement.com. You can call me, I guess, 201-870-0743. And, just give me a call. Reach out to Sean. You can get in touch with me. It shouldn't be that hard. If you're watching this video, just click on the tag.
That's it. Eric.
I'm big on Instagram. Slide in my DMs. It's at Eric Panecki, my full name. Hit me up anytime. I'm always on there. That's the best way. Awesome.
And Mike?
You can see me on Facebook, on any thread, anybody looking for a dumpster. I'm not hard to find on Facebook. Any group. You can get in touch with Sean again, touch with me. If you're watching this video and you have any questions about the garbage business, I do consulting on the side as well, just to give you some tips and everything. You can DM me privately on Facebook, and I'll share my contact info there.
It's awesome, guys. I appreciate all of you for coming on today and dropping some major value. Anyone that's watching that don't know what I do as far as insurance, helping with connections, check out connectionmachine.biz. I'm also helping people, brand themselves, which actually will help them using video, help them build and generate leads. And we have Israel said, great chat, fellas. Israel, thanks so much for staying with us.
Thanks, Israel.
And
Thanks,
we hope you have an awesome day, guys.
Thanks, fellas.
Awesome. Enjoy.
All right,
Take care.
Take it easy, fellas.